I don't know why I've left this so long, but this is a review I've been planning to do for a while. It is the Slater design Sci-Fi. It's the original. It's quite old. It's my daily driver and I've just loved it every second I've had it. So it's about 5 years old and I want to tell you why I love it and break it down a little bit. They have now brought out Sci-Fi 2.0, so that's the next board I'd love to try. But until then, let's check this one out. So let's get stuck into it. So the first unique thing about this is its tail. This board has been shaped by Tomo, Tomo, in collaboration with Slater. Pretty much just got a bunch of channels, and what the channels do, they pretty much create speed. So if you imagine the water flowing through there, it just rushes through because you've got less surface area of the board there, and it just gushes through. And I believe that it's because of this tail design, that's why I love the board so much. So the other thing it's got going on is it's called a double batwing tail. So you'll notice it's not your traditional squash or your round tail. So what it does, it cuts in here, you got the hip or the wing, and what that does is it gives your board maximum volume all the way for the rest of the board, which gives you extra float. But then when you want to start pivoting and turning, that's what that does. It cuts off and it creates a pivoting point, so it's less surface area to turn in the water essentially. So that's kind of what all these little bits are doing. They're creating hold but release at the same time. So it's like the best of both worlds. I truly do believe that's why this board is the bomb. It's also got wide point. I believe it's probably a little bit forward to center, if not center. And the new Slater Sci-Fi 2.0 has the wide point in dead center. And they've got medium entry and exit rocker. So the other thing is it's got quite pinched rails, so I think that's why this board turns so easily, because it's just got that nice rounded out edge, and what that does is it creates flow, so the round edge grabs the water and then you can go rail to rail. Don't mind my terrible ding repairs that I've done, they are horrendous, but yeah, like I said, it's my daily driver, I had it for 5 years. So let's look at the rocker here. I use this board as my daily driver. It is a performance board, but it's quite user friendly. In saying that though, I wouldn't recommend a beginner using this board. I think the one of the reasons why I wouldn't recommend a beginner is because this tail is so fast and it releases and it's quite responsive. I don't know if a beginner would be able to handle the speed. And to give you an idea, when I first got this board, it took me 3 weeks to get used to the speed. I was often like dropping in, going down the face of the wave, coming back up to do my top turn and just going off the back of the wave. Just surfing so fast, I just went to the top of the lip and kept going instead of turning off. So it was one of those boards that I had to learn how to control its speed. So that's probably why I wouldn't recommend a beginner, but intermediate up for sure. And the Sci-Fi 2 is recommended, I think, for 2 to 6 foot surf. And this one I was definitely riding in all kind of conditions because it was just my favorite board. It's in LFT construction, so it is an EPS core with nice strong epoxy resin. Now this stringer is the old school LFT construction, so what that means is you got EPS core, epoxy resin with a nice high density foam in the stringer, and that's controlling the flex and the responsiveness of it. You've got lots of different combinations of construction, so that's what the LFT is, which is an old school construction. So the newest one, Sci-Fi 2.0, I believe is an ibolic setup, and you can get it in a volcanic wrap. So that will be one of the next boards I will be definitely putting on my radar to ride and review. Have a look at its rails. They are quite, from here maybe down is quite parallel, and what you get from that is speed, so planing speed. So when the waves are a little bit slower, that parallel rail there is going to give you surface area and create planing speed. What it's going to do is those rounded rails and the curvier outline loves a wave that's already fast, and those rails are meant for doing rail to rail surfing. So this you can ride in smaller waves because it has that little bit of a parallel outline for creating speed in the duller sections of the wave. That's pretty much it for the Sci-Fi, and it's a board that's just never let me down. I feel like when I'm riding it, it will do anything I want it to do. it's just the fastest board. It will beat any section, and easy paddler. And to give you an idea of sizing, when I first got this board, I was between 57 and 59 kilos, so about 136 pounds, and I'm 166 centimeters at 5'5". I got my board in a 5'7" at 26 liters. So I'll give you the dimensions. We've got 5'7", coming in at 18 3/4 wide and 2 3/8 thick at 26.2 liters. Now that was bang on for me. The size I had before this was a 5'10" performance, quite a narrow outline at 25 liters. So I dropped down a few inches and gained a liter, and that worked really well for me. It was definitely the size I needed for my progression in my surfing. So I dropped down but came up a bit in the volume. So what fins do I ride in this? I always chopped and changed from thruster to quad. I typically rode a thruster on everyday waves and then a quad on bigger days. Which one goes better? Neither. I think they both worked well. This tail is magic, and it worked well in all the different fin setups I tried. I will note though, I started off with performer fins and accelerator fins. I had those for a few years and recently have switched to AM profile fins and Sally Fitzgibbon fins, which are more performance upright fins that create a lot of quick tight turn pivoting, which has been amazing. And I really do believe that the reactor profile has definitely helped with this board. So I also did ride carvers, and I feel like the carvers went well too, but if I had to compare the carvers, which are a raked back fin for big drawn out turns, I would say that I would choose the reactors just because I want to start doing more tighter turns in the pocket and quick release. So both fins work well. I think it just depends on the wave and the day and what kind of surfing you want to do. So if I was to choose, I would choose a reactor fin. I rode the Sally Fitzgibbon ones, which is a medium set with a reactor profile, and the center fin is smaller than the side fins, which give you even more release. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Sci-Fi. If you can get your hands on one, I would definitely recommend it. Take your time getting used to the speed, because it's one of those boards that just you need to be able to get used to the speed and handle how fast it is and the release it gives. So alright guys, Surf's Up Kate is out, and this is the Slater Designs original Sci-Fi.